Welcome to Translate This. Richard.
Translate this.
You're there. Good.
I'm here.
Okay, great. Well, this is
just made it.
What is it?
What is it?
Which episode is this?
Episode 7.
Woo!
That was my lucky number, but I guess it still is.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, lucky number
So
7.
this is going to be it.
So this is Translate This with Richard and Melissa, a podcast about language, culture, life, and...
The hilarity of it all.
Yep. At least we hope so. And you can find us, social media people, at Facebook at translate.this.podcast or Twitter at translatethisp or Instagram at translatethisp and at our website, translatethisp-podcast.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Yeah. You know, and that was really disappointing because I wanted to kind of follow suit and have the underscore, but it wouldn't let me. So...
Dash is easier.
Dash is easier. And it would have been better to do it all the other ways. But
it's worth it. It's worth it to push that shift button.
Yeah.
Because we're special. We're special.
We're special.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, today I'm taking over the airwaves.
Heck yeah. Let's do this.
Here we go. Okay. So I have a question.
Is it a quiz?
Over the question. No, it's not a quiz. What kind of a quiz? I mean, it's an open-ended question, as we say in education.
Okay.
What do the Jetsons, Star Trek, and our society all have in common?
We speak English.
You know what? I didn't list that, but you were technically correct.
Oh, okay. Good. I passed.
You passed.
But it's not on your
my
score
list.
sheet.
But what else do they have in common? What do you think about when you think of those two things in our society? Jetsons, Star Trek, and our society.
I was going to say humans, but Jetsons are caricatures. They're drawings, so that doesn't count.
But they're drawings of humans. So yeah.
Okay.
That's still also not on my list.
Images of humans.
No.
I'm not going in the right direction.
You're not going in the right direction.
At all.
Think technology.
Oh.
Give you a context clue.
I was going to say that teleporter thing, but we haven't figured that out yet.
I wish we had
that. Our society. Spaceships.
Yes, we have those. Exactly.
And
they
getting
have those.
Closer?
You're getting much closer. But think more. Yeah, computers. Yes, computers.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding. This is one of my answers. Computers.
Okay. Oh, you want me to keep guessing?
Keep going because there's more.
The cord for the computer.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to stop you there. Let me just alleviate your agony.
Okay. I'm just trying to get it all right.
Microwaves.
You actually saw a microwave in Jetsons.
Yeah, in Star Trek. Remember they would go to the computer and ask for the food and it would come out all hot. That was an early version of a microwave.
Yeah, real early, but supposedly in the future.
Yeah. Jetsons had that InstaFood.
Okay.
Video calls.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Blade Runner 2.
Yeah. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna bring in. I'm gonna always bring in our favorite film, but video calls. And in fact, what I used to love was Mrs. Jetson, which I can't think of her. Jane Jetson. Oh. She would put that little mask in front of her face when she wanted it just to be her profile picture, which we call that now.
Wow.
And so they didn't see her real face, so she looked all made up and all dolled up.
Wow. She's like way beyond our years, already understanding the psychology of technology.
Yeah. Escalators.
Yeah. Okay.
Small automated appliances.
Okay.
Cell phones.
Right.
Computers. We've got that. Modern materials for clothing and utopian design.
You call what is utopian in our society?
Well, think of, there's a new movie coming out that's a remake of Dune. Right? And think of all the clothing and think of the clothing of original Dune. Okay, so it's utopian, right? And think of all of the outfits, the uniforms that Star Trek had to wear, and then the Jetsons wore those similar looking uniforms.
Technically, we do too because of Halloween. We're going to dress up like Star Trek. Technically, we have that stuff. Yeah.
But we have the modern materials now. People are using modern materials to make clothing. I mean, ever since they invented polyester, you can just go from there.
Yeah,
right?
I remember those days.
Yeah. Handheld medical computer devices.
Medical? Did you say medical?
Yeah, because remember in Star Trek when the doctor, his nickname was Bones, right? And he would scan people to see how they were doing.
Okay.
Well, we have that too. We have handheld scanners.
Okay.
As well as we have, MRI machines and all this wonderful sonogram machines.
I carry around an MRI machine, by the way.
Well, do you?
Yeah, I carry. Yeah, it's pocket
MRI
size. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. And I know there's new EKG machines like that too, right? Similar.
Sure.
Okay. Talk to type computers.
Talk to type. Yeah, we all know that is annoyingly available. I don't know. I have to bring this up. Like, I'm scared about Google and Google Docs. Well, anybody out there use Google Docs?
Hold the horses because we're going to get to that a little bit later.
I'm scared. They're like listening to everything I'm thinking.
No, it's okay because we're going to get there. Okay. Talking computers in general, because I know that it reminds me of Space Odyssey and HAL. And
right? I saw a video of Elon Musk repeatedly telling society, don't let the computers control us.
Well, he's one to be speaking about that.
He's creating all the AI.
Okay. So that's a lot that they had in common. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I want to focus on today, that I also know that they had it in common, but these are 3 topics that I find similar to these categories of Jetsons, Star Trek, and society, are flying cars, robots, and machine translation.
Right.
Okay. So you kind of follow that connection. I know.
Yes.
These are the things I think of late at night.
I like how you led into it.
These are the random thoughts I have when I'm lying in bed and cannot sleep in the dread. Let's talk about flying cars, robots, and machine translation. They're all related. But I'm going to explain to you why they are truly related.
I'm never disappointed.
Okay.
What you're going to bring up.
My question about those 3 things are, will they ever work the way we want them to? And that is the episode today.
All right.
Flying cars, robots, machine translation, and will they ever work the way we want them to?
Have you seen a flying car break down in the Jetsons?
Yes.
Oh, so
in the Jetsons, you remember it broke down and sometimes it would sputter out?
Kind of.
Yeah. And of course, the ship was always falling apart. In Star Trek.
Talk about real life. God, Jetsons. Like really predicting the future.
They were. Yeah. I mean, much better than the Flintstones.
Yeah.
Because, that's another possible future.
Could be. It's like that one saying after World War III, it's just sticks and stones.
Yep.
Yeah.
We go back.
That, as a kid, when I heard that as a teenager, I was like, that blew my mind.
I know. It's sad.
That was Einstein that said that, I think.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Because he invented the bomb, the hydrogen bomb.
Yep, he did.
And he was like, "Oh, if you use this, I know what I'm going to be making after this."
Oh my gosh! Yeah. The only thing we won't have the dinosaur dog in the Flintstones. Yeah. But there'll probably be some other weird creature that will evolve from the aftermath of all of the chemicals from the bombs.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when you mentioned those 2 shows, I realized I watch a lot more Flintstones than I did the Jetsons.
See, I watched both equally.
Did you?
But, I always had this thing, though, about the Flintstones that Fred Flintstone reminded me of my dad. Yeah. My biological father, and especially his feet. And so I inherited my dad's wide feet.
Wow.
So
they were pretty wide.
I call my feet Fred Flintstone feet.
Okay.
Ever since I was a kid.
Wow.
I've always called him that. So yeah.
All right.
And he kind of looked like him though. He had the heavy beard and the dark hair. My dad looked kind of a combination of Fred Flintstone and the guy that starred in Mad Men. But that
name?
Character,
John
Hamm. But his exact character in Mad Men, my dad dressed a lot like that, and kind of that Rock Hudson era. So my dad comes from that. So he looked like that and Fred Flintstone together.
You had a wild imagination, I think.
I don't know, maybe. So
this is good.
Let's start with flying cars, okay?
Okay.
And this is what I thought was really interesting. I read a chapter out of an Introduction to Book History by David Finkelstein and Alistair McCleary. And they make mention of Isaac Asimov's trilogy, now turned Apple TV show, Foundation, which is, I cannot wait to see. I think it's coming out today, actually. We'll be watching it, which depicts a futuristic mathematician that can use mathematical laws to predict the future of large populations. So, cool premise.
Okay.
And also very utopian, and also about the destruction and what's going to happen and what it's going to incite. And so they're really worried about in the future what's going to, is it going to all fall apart? So, and interestingly enough, they write in this book, An Introduction to Book History, that when Asimov wrote his book, no one knew how popular Kindles and Apple iPads and other electronic reading devices like Nooks would be. Like, he wrote this pre that, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Again, this is, writing about the future that soon happens. And the reason why they're writing this about the introduction to book history is because they're wondering, is the book going to survive technology?
Okay.
And then these writers also reference the Scottish indie band from the 2000s named We Were Promised Jetpacks. How many times have we talked about being promised a jetpack?
But they exist now.
They do exist.
Did you see the Navy? They're doing those test runs.
Yes.
And they look fantastic.
Right. And the Jetsons were where they got their name. We Were Promised Jetpacks. There's a reference to the Jetsons and shows like that because they wanted, we were all supposed to be flying around right now with jetpacks.
There you go. It just shows how much we got to read more and get inspired by things like that. Right?
Yeah. And according to BBC News, June of 2021, a prototype flying car has completed 35-minute flights between international airports in Nitra and Bratislava, Slovakia.
Wait, there was an actual flying car that went 35 minutes in the air and it landed safely.
Yes.
Awesome.
The hybrid car aircraft called the Air Car is equipped with a BMW engine and runs on regular gas pump fuel. Or if you're in the UK or if you're over here, petrol.
Okay.
It was invented by Professor Stefan, I think it's Stefan or Stefan, not depending, Klein. And he said it can fly about 1,000 kilometers or 600 miles at a height of 2,500 meters or 8,200 feet. And it's been clocked up to 40 hours in the air so far, 40 hours per mile in the air.
How can I ask, how does it take off?
This is the cool
straight
thing.
Up
There's a conversion time between car and aircraft that's about 2.5 minutes. So then it just jets up like a helicopter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
There's no video. There's got to be a video on it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is a podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to look at it right now.
You can go
give me
find
about
it.
10 minutes. I'll be right back.
No. So then I also found out upon doing more research that there's a company called Aeromobile. And it's amazing. They state on their website that their flying cars are, and I quote, arriving in early 2023, the ultra high-end vehicle that is equally at home, on the road, or in the sky. This is their slogan. Make the dream of flying car your reality.
Sounds like a very straightforward slogan there.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you mentioned Blade Runner.
Yes.
This led me to think about Blade Runner and the other movie that I love so much, The Fifth Element.
Okay. I didn't love it that much, but go ahead.
Oh no, see, but I did.
That's okay.
It was so campy. How could you not love it?
We could talk about it one episode.
Yeah.
Debate it.
We can. So
talk about which one's better.
They had flying cars, and that was really common for them to travel that way in the way we travel in grounded cars. That's what I'm going to start calling it: grounded cars and flying cars.
Oh, you got one of those grounded cars, huh?
Yeah.
I guess I'll get in it. God, it's going to take forever.
Well, okay. So I know for a fact when we were living in California in 2019 and, we left for Madrid early 2020. When we moved there in 2018, summer. Anyway, we moved there for the last couple of years. We were living there before we moved to Madrid.
Yeah.
And we moved to Madrid in 2021. Okay, wait a minute. I've got it all. Okay, so 2019, we moved to LA. We moved back to LA.
Were you thinking of Leon when you went to Leon?
No. So so it doesn't really none of that really matters. What matters is the fact that when we were there in the last couple of years, there was great talk on the news channels in LA about how they were going to have hovering cars above the freeway to basically help with the traffic. because if anybody knows Los Angeles, they're known for having horrible traffic. In fact, the whole West Coast has terrible traffic. So they think that by having flying cars going above the freeway, they can use that airspace to fly to where they need to go and basically circumvent sitting in traffic. So it will be a matter literally of the have and the have-nots at that moment, because if you can afford this, I'm sure, $1 million air car, you'll be able to fly over. I would say, I bet money that they're going to be no less expensive than $500,000 air car.
Well,
I don't know yet.
I know all those people in those paid fast lanes are going to be jealous now. Huh?
Right. Right. Or happy, because then the people who really don't want to be on the ground can be flying overhead.
Yep.
But then what if they crash?
They'll crash on top of us. But that's LA.
So it's going to be crazy. Crazy car crash, air crash.
LA, that's what I expect.
So maybe I have a solution. Let them fly over the aqueduct. Because then if they crash, they go right down in the aqueduct and nobody cares.
What I have a question is, what if there's two flying cars that get into a road rage?
Oh, no. And then they start chasing each other. They're going to look like insects when they fly around chasing each other, buzzing around. I hope not. But then that also made me think about the race to Mars with Bezos, Branson, and Musk.
Oh, those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys.
Buddies. Space buddies.
$1 billion buddies.
Yeah.
Those space dogs, I'm calling space dogs. They are racing to go to Mars, right? They've just done the orbit of the world with their very elite paid customers, and they got to go up into space and come back down in these aircrafts that they're making. They are literally, the three of them, reviving the space program in a private manner because the government lacked the funds to do it.
Thanks for all that extra CO2, guys.
Okay, so that is something, you see, you must be reading my notes.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm just making fun of rich people.
No, but here it is. It was the next exact thing I was going to tell you. So I asked myself, because of the same thing, are flying cars a good thing? Or will it be a continuation of energy consumption in the methods that we're looking at through transportation? Because the one air car runs on petrol or gas. Yeah. And there's been much backlash about this.
Sure.
So what I found out was that currently the contribution of a standard aircraft to air pollution is not as bad as we think it is. On treehugger.com, they said airplanes are about 3% of total there's a tongue twister, climate emissions, 3%.
That sounds like a lot, though.
No, I don't think so. Of all airplanes. And, there's just hundreds and thousands of airplanes over our head all the time, all day long. 3%. A single flight produces 3 tons of carbon dioxide per passenger, though. So, but the amount goes up dramatically if the plane is nearly empty. If the plane is full, it beats a car in terms of its emissions.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That's sort of like, when you have a freezer and they tell you to fill up the freezer, because if it's full, it uses up less energy. If it's empty, it needs more energy to make it cold.
You just blew my mind.
I don't know. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I read something about that. Yeah.
Well, I just read something about that. So casually stated.
It's a Cliff Clavin thing. But so if you want to save energy, stuff it with rocks.
Oh my gosh, you couldn't you?
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Rocks. But anyway, I'm curious about this this thing here. You talked about if it's full, it's less energy.
Right. So then basically, remember I said at the beginning, the question is, are these things going to work the way we want them to? So I'm going to ask you your opinion, and I'm going to give you my opinion at the end of this. So I'm going to ask you, are you going to give flying cars the thumbs up or the thumbs down based on this information?
You want my opinion?
Yes, that's what you're here for.
Well, 10% of me wants to see, because it's much less than half of me. 10% of me wants me to see technology go far and see how our human minds can achieve great things. And, being a former teacher in high school, I've had a lot of students fascinated with technology, fascinated with engineering. And so I support that. But, the question is more ethical. The question is moral, And so, but I still want it. I still love to see technology improve. And I think that eventually, that if it's emitting, the emissions are bad, I think that competition and as well as climate change will force us to improve and make better products, right?
Yeah.
But
okay, whenever you use a conjunction, especially the one "but," it just negates everything you've just said.
And it's only 10% of me.
But the other 90% says...
I like to give credit to the 10%. It's a small voice.
I have a lot to say, though.
I have a democratic mind. Everybody has a voice.
10% had a lot to say.
Well, my 90% has a much shorter answer.
Oh, gosh.
Fuck that.
Okay. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm going to go 50-50 on this one.
Okay.
The reason why, and so I originally, full confession, before speaking to you and listening to you, I was going to go 100%, yes, I want a flying car.
Okay.
But now listening to your rationale, and I just thought about something. I don't like drones.
Yikes.
Not because I don't find them purposeful, but you hit on something that is going right into our next segment here about robots, which is the ethics of them. The ethics of flying cars, because drones could be right outside your window spying on your privacy. And so what people value most in the world is privacy. And so if you have flying cars, you're even going to have less privacy because people are going to be over it. You're going to feel like you're being constantly watched. I think it might actually turn up a lot of paranoia in people. And
I have to tell you something. I have no privacy where I live. A little reality check for all these people that want to move to Madrid and most European buildings, apartment buildings. There's no privacy.
No, there isn't.
I literally hear everything that's happening in every apartment.
Because and plus the interior gardens, right?
Yeah.
You hear everybody go in the bathroom.
And I hear, hello, everybody. I hear everything. Let me repeat that. I hear everything. If you're my neighbor, I hear everything. And I know you hear everything I do. That's why I don't do anything in my apartment. I literally just sit on the couch. If I'm going to have fun with anybody, it's not in my apartment.
So he's a silent
screw
man.
The drones. I already lost it. Bring them all.
Okay. So I think we're going to give flying cars a tiny thumbs up, maybe mostly a thumbs down.
Yeah, if you don't care about privacy, what I care about drones is, are you going to drop a pizza box on that I ordered, or are you going to drop a bomb?
That's exactly. Right. So we're going to ethics now. Okay, flying cars can see that can be manipulated, right? Yeah. A flying car could be manipulated to use it for bombing, for destructive purposes, not for the purposes it was intended for. So my next category about robots is what my main focus on this is ethics. Okay. So I'm going to specifically talk about AI robots. Okay.
Oh, good.
So writers like Ray Bradbury and H.G. Wells have written futuristic devices that have also come into fruition in ways that we didn't even imagine they would. And some of them are about AI robots.
Okay.
So now, when I think about AI robots, I always think about Terminator and RoboCop. Okay, for those of you
dating us.
Those of you old enough to remember those shows, those movies, Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Can I bring up a real 80s one that most people younger than us may not know?
What?
I know you're going to know it. Max Headroom.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Remember that one?
Yes, he was the first AI talking hologram on MTV.
But it was also the whole kind of like wasteland of the future, which blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, those people then listened, and those writers, and they came up with Terminator and RoboCop. Right. And there's many other movies where people are half robots and a lot of movies. In fact, a lot of Bruce Willis movies. And I can't think of the name. Maybe producer Lauren can look it up. But I know there was one where it was just in their mind, and he would stay at home inside this pod because if you went outside, it was actually you would die in real life. But if you went outside, you had your robot go out looking just like you, walking through your world.
Movie or TV show?
Movie. I remember what it's called, but it was a fabulous concept, but it was terrible because you were a combination of WALL-E, like the people in WALL-E where you just motorized around, you never moved. But then you were actually, you had your robot. Yeah, Surrogates. Surrogates. Thank you, producer Lauren. Another crazy utopian type movie. So think about the ethics of this.
Okay.
Because I remember correctly the premise of both of those movies, of both RoboCop and, sorry. I got ahead of myself. I forgot to mention the other one that I love very much, Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams.
Wow. I don't think I saw that.
So he is a labor bot. He's like a butler. He's a labor robot, but he's AI.
This must be during his Mork and Mindy days?
No. This was later. This was much later. And producer Lauren's going to find a date for us and get back to us. But what I remember about the premise of this movies was basically to debate the ethics of having AI robots act as emotional support and labor or servitude robots.
Can I get one?
See, that's how I feel about the flight car.
I need emotional support.
Okay, so 1999. Thank you, producer Lauren.
Hi, producer Lauren. I'm just so appreciative of Lauren.
I know she's great.
Sorry, go ahead.
We need to get her on the air when she wants to, when in her own time.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's posing a question to me, and her question is, it's a dated question, she says, and it is, she's curious about the airplane and is the carbon emissions lower in the airplane because we have that many people in the airplane versus driving? And she's wondering if that's why they're saying that it's better that we have airplanes going with full passenger loads than it's like the freezer thing, that it works more efficiently with more people in there. I don't know how that works, but
I think I get it too.
Maybe we'll have to make up for different
maybe
research.
Here's another example. Maybe like if you had a heavier ball and it rolls down the hill, what would roll faster, a heavier ball or a lighter ball?
Oh yeah, see, that's just pure physics right there. I love it. That's great. That answers the question. Okay. It really does. But that's great. It's always good.
Yeah, I was just thinking all the full flights and I wish I had more leg room.
Yeah.
Now I have something good to think about.
Right. Now you know why you're crammed into that economy seat. You feel better. So
we're trying to save the world.
So F you all.
Cram them in.
So fuck all the first class passengers.
Put them on their lap. We're saving the world. They're sitting on your lap. Shut up. Otherwise, you're against the world.
That's it. I'm going to go and
tell them. You want us to die of climate change?
I'm going to get banned from
flying. Let them
flying.
sit on your lap.
I'm going to get banned from flying when I do that. Oh my gosh, that'd be great. So getting back to labor bots over here.
Yes.
Next.
Be careful. You said robots. That made me laugh. But
we're going to go down that aisle. It's coming.
I loved it. That was cute.
Wait, but it's coming.
Robot. Okay.
So there were problematic issues for me. And I wondered, do we need, now you're already saying I want one. For me, this was more of the ethical challenge. So if I lost a child, right?
Yes.
Or a beloved pet, I don't think I'd want them back in some form of humanoid robot because producer Lauren is saying yes, she would. I know, because she would do that for the animal part, but I don't think she would do that if it was me. I don't think she would be like, oh, hi mom, see you in the kitchen and I'm dead 20 years now. She said she would only do it for dogs. Okay. But you got to know, producer Lauren loves her dogs. Her dogs are her children.
Yes.
And so that's the same thing, though. I couldn't do that if I had a child. My mom passes, my mom's going to pass. So here's my argument. It seems like it would hurt people more than help because they'd never be able to grieve or accept the absence of the departed person that they lost.
They would lose the ability to grieve.
They would lose the ability to grieve. And that is, I think, is a terrible thing for humanity because we must go through pain to understand joy.
Most people do, but let's take an example of a person.
You're trying to argue for the pot.
No. I'm just thinking, what if a person went through life completely happy and never had to grieve? What disadvantage would they have?
They would be completely ignorant of the world's reality. I'm sorry. I'm a true artist. I need to suffer to feel joy.
Yeah. No. And also they have less empathy.
They have less empathy too.
We love empathy.
Yeah. I think they'd be a sociopath.
Yeah. Everybody needs to suffer. Yeah. I agree.
So, and here's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Artificial intelligence, if they can evolve to feel as humans, and therefore potentially we've enslaved a whole new genre of creatures. Uh-huh. So that is my issue. And that's what Bicentennial Man was also kind of hitting on.
Yeah.
Blade Runner, the replicants,
yes,
they were slaves. They were labor slaves, and they were compassionate.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
And they were,
you can make me cry.
They were sex slaves. They were sex workers.
Blade Runner.
And, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm still obsessed with Blade Runner. And it's sad because I'm all about the rights of those replicants in that movie. Every time I watch it, I'm about those replicant rights.
That is such a interesting point you make, because they're robots.
Right.
But how does that, if we shut down a robot, like if there was an off button?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously grotesque and violent to shoot a robot and fake blood comes out, right?
I don't know. You're talking Westworld now.
Well, no, look at Blade Runner. Like they
Blade Runner. Yeah,
I don't know if blood came out, but
blood.
It was ugly, killing them out in the street like they were, wild animals.
Right.
And that part is not acceptable in a society where we want to feel humanity is important.
Okay, so hold that thought because okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, I just want to say, what if there was just an off button and you just turned it off? I mean, instead of killing it.
Okay, but that's what the replicants were designed to die exactly 4 years. Yeah. They gave him 4 years and they would just turn off. In the last scene, he just turns off.
You're so right. You're so right.
Yeah.
And why did Deckard have to kill them all? Because they didn't want to die.
Because they didn't want to die.
They didn't want to die.
So now think about Rosie, the Jetsons maid.
Yes.
She was a robot. She was a labor robot.
Yeah.
Right. And she had those arms that would come out and do like 5 billion things and clean her house and whatever. Yeah. Okay. So she did a lot for the family. Well, I don't think we're too far away from making that happen in households. Let me tell you. Okay. I personally own a robot vacuum cleaner
I was
mopper.
Mention that. Do you feel like it's getting a personality?
I lovingly named it Dingbot.
Okay.
And because it gets stuck under cabinets and it gets tangled in cords. I know, little Dingbot. Cute. So I got to go rescue it. And it's like, my cables are crapped up or whatever it says. It says, come, I am no longer moving. And then it goes back to its charging. I'm recharging. I'm going back to the charging playing thing.
There's personality in that.
It's got personality. Right. And you can choose its voice, male or female. And, I think it'd be really cool if I could have a celebrity Dingbot voice. And if I would like Jack Nicholson going back to, I'm cleaning your fucking floor.
Look what I'm doing here. I want some validation.
Is this as good as it gets? But that'd be great. I would love Jack. And he'd be happy. He'd be like, I'm cleaning your floor now.
I just saw this. I bet you already know this, but they just designed, I bet you can get an update on your what's it called? The Roomie?
I don't know what it's called. This one, I don't even know what it's called. I don't know what. Anyway, it's a. Let's just go with that.
Well, that one, because I know it's the same company. Okay. They just designed that to avoid dog poop or any poop.
Oh, so smart!
But that would screw up the whole thing if it just swept it and then it's mushy.
Luckily, my dogs don't do that in the house. But if they ever did, that would be a horrible situation.
Trying to clean it out of the gears.
No, that would be so disgusting.
I don't want
like a pastry going across the floor, dragging it around, smushing crap all around your house. So disgusting. Okay, so getting back.
Oh my God. Okay. That was such a joke ready to happen, but you already said it. Go.
But my little Dingbot, it gets basic cleaning done. It gets the job done.
Do you love it more than you first bought it? That's a question.
Yeah, I think I've grown accustomed to it. I have assigned it. Okay, so full confession.
Yes.
I'm an only child.
Yes.
I have 2 stepbrothers, but I didn't have them until I was 8. I was 21. Mm-hmm. So I grew up an only kid. Mm-hmm. And I used to give small appliances and things in the house, mm-hmm. inanimate objects, I would assign personality to them. Oh. And so if they weren't working, mm-hmm. I would call them by a name and tell them, you're just doing that to bother me today, aren't you? Mm-hmm. And I'd have conversations mm-hmm. with the things because,
That's cute.
Well, I was highly imaginative.
Yeah, still that is a theme because it's come up a couple times this podcast. So it's awesome.
I don't know. It could be on the verge of mental illness, but but
I just having raised 3 kids, and my kids were imaginative too. But like when you see the imagination in that age, it's just wonderful.
Well, it would really helped me not mm-hmm. feel lonely, and that's really what I learned to do. I learned how to self-soothe, and that's mm-hmm. really the psychology behind it. But I found another brand mm-hmm. on Verge.com that was founded in 2018 named Mira Robotics. Mm-hmm. And they have a robot called Ugo, or it could be Ugo, it's UGO. Mm-hmm. And that launched in 2019 for sale in 2020.
Okay.
And they said that they were going to carry out a variety of tasks with this robot, like household tasks, starting with emptying a washing machine and folding clothes. Mm-hmm. Now, I want one of those. Okay, I'm telling you that right now. But we're in 2022. So I was like, okay, well, what's Ugo doing now? How successful was it? Mm-hmm. And you know what? I ended up learning something about it because it ended up serving a different purpose. Because what happened to the world in 2020?
COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was what was so cool. I learned that they repurposed this bot in Japan to aid in the shortage of workforce due to the pandemic. It's really cool. Okay. And it says, according to the economictimes.indiatimes.com, they quoted the CEO and he stated, the coronavirus has created a need for robots because they can reduce direct contact between people.
Right.
Ken Matsui, the CEO, said, we have had inquiries from overseas, including Singapore and France, and the robot looks a lot like Rosie from the Jetsons.
Wow. Rosie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would dig that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Now it sounds like everything is a big plan to replace human workers.
Again, we're going to ethics now. Okay.
Go for it.
I'm going for this one. Okay. This is the controversial part of my podcast.
I love controversy.
Okay. But what happens when we think of Westworld? Mm-hmm. What about those robots? What if Rosie looked like Japanese sex robots? Mm-hmm. So should we have these? And remember the film Her? Okay. And Ex Machina?
Yes.
Okay.
I like both.
And that didn't turn out well for any character.
There's messages there.
There's messages there, right? Time. Okay. So this is going to be explicit. So this is a warning for our listeners for sexually explicit content. So turn it off if you don't want to hear this. In Japan in 2019, a sex robot brothel opened.
I'm not surprised.
And according to the UK Mirror, it was specifically set up to satisfy the demand of Japanese men wanting bisexual threesomes. And furthermore, they stated that boss Sergei Pareto, the owner, wanted to offer customers a chance to carry out their wildest fantasies and launched the Lumi Dolls venue in the city of Nagoya. Mm-hmm. The launch wasn't the first, and they previously opened in Russia, Italy, and Spain in 2017. The one in Japan offers 3-hour sessions for about $327 or 36,000 yen, and a 1-hour session for $118 or 13,000 yen. Forbes did a whole article on the Barcelona location, and they noted that this location was promoting itself as the first of its kind in Europe, and that Lumi Dolls offers 4 models of extremely realistic, large-breasted silicone dolls on the website. There's European Katie, with blonde, with big lips and piercing green eyes. There's Asian Lily. There's African Laiza, and then there's blue-haired Aki, which is modeled after Japanese anime. A 1-hour session here is about 120 euros, where you can actually buy a doll for 5,500 euros. And according to the futureofsex.net, there are over now 20 global locations of various establishments of sex doll or sex robot brothels.
I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention. I was looking for a plane ticket to Barcelona. What did you say?
No.
I'm kidding.
So these, okay, this is the ethics. So here's the thing. So will these work the way the owners intend them to? Will they subside the need to cheat, subside loneliness, reduce STDs, reduce sex workers, or even stop sex trafficking? Okay, so there's a question. What do you think about that before I tell you what's out there?
Well, I want to know. I have a question from your question. If you were married to someone who could have had an affair with a real person,
yes,
or one of those, would you be more?
I'd be offended either way. I'd be offended either way because, first of all, I would be offended in the fact that they want to cheat. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is they're not living in a reality here. Again, remember you got to suffer to feel joy. That's what's going on here. This is not real.
You're avoiding suffering. You're just placating with something else.
Yeah, you're needing soothing of some kind. You're avoiding some emotional damage because, as we know, people cheat most of the time because they are missing something within their relationship and they don't know how to verbalize it. So they think the answer is to go and try to find it with somebody else. And as we know, in terms of monogamy, that's just not going to work. Or relationships, even with open relationships, if you don't establish rules of what is okay and what is not okay, it's going to fall to hell. So NRtoday.com states the pioneers of human android romance now have a name. They're called digisexuals. And academics and futuristics, they have suggested this constitutes an emergent sexual identity. So this could actually be added to the list of sexual identities in the future. And most importantly, this is what I thought was noted. Rooters, or I just said we say rooters, right? Or do you say rooters? You say
the news?
The news.
The news, yeah.
It's rooters.
I never said. I only looked at it.
I'm going to go with rooters. States that the arrival of sex robots has a very divided opinion. Inventors argue that they can potentially replace prostitutes, or that's what they wrote. We call them sex workers, reduce sex trafficking, and help lonely people, while critics, I'm just telling you, this is where I'm on the bandwagon of, say they objectify women, normalize sexism, and promote rape culture. And according to the ethicist and founder of the Campaign Against Sex Robots, Kathleen Richardson, she states that she doesn't think sex robots will reduce sex trafficking, but it will just become another option on the menu for an already distorted and dehumanized commercial market. And we should note that she's an academic at De Montfort University who has been studying robotics for more than a decade. And she goes on to say that there's something more insidious going on in the sex trafficking about how you control and dominate another human being and the pleasure you derive from rape. So ethically, and my question about enslaving labor robots, this is another form of slavery. And so I'm giving, even before you answer, I'm giving the big giant double thumbs down to AI being used for any type of human form robotic situation, whether it be for labor or for sex or putting any type of emotion connected to a machine that could, be a substitute for a human in that area.
I mean, I agree with all that, but there's more that makes me not want to support all this. Like 90% of me, remember? Is
you flip now. Your 10% is going the other way.
Oh.
Your 10% was liberal before, and your 90% wasn't.
No. Wasn't it my 90% said no to all that, right? Yeah. And I'm supporting that because of what you said.
Okay.
But I'm genuinely afraid of robots that can overtake me or overtake the world.
Right.
That's a real thing. Even in the most intimate sense, like if there was a robot that could hug me,
right,
it could be some bad chip in the brain that just chokes me to death or strangles me.
Right, exactly.
It might not even be planned.
Yeah. And producer Lauren had me watch the most hilarious animation short called Love, Death, and Robots. And it's exactly talking about that, about my Dingbot situation, where these little robots that are helping us with automated things in the household that they take over because they have a bad chip and there's no way to deprogram it, and it comes after and it's just trying to kill the lady and her dog. And it's funnier than heck, but it's a real possibility.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm going to give a thumbs up to Ugo. For the laundry folding, only if it can just do that. But there is a sheer terror in me of exactly what you stated. What if that thing goes AWOL and comes after me and sees that I have clothes on and doesn't understand it's not supposed to fold that? And it's got a glitch and starts ripping my clothes and trying to fold me or trying to manipulate me and fold me into the shape of a shirt because I have clothing on and basically kills me.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a picture of a robot hand shaking a hand of a human, and it freaked me out.
Yeah.
I was like, what if it just crushed it?
Yeah.
And there's no, I mean, the power that hand can enforce on that could just crush every tiny bone. You know what I mean? I'm like, I would not.
But you watched Westworld.
No, I've seen like 2 episodes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so I love that. Because I loved Westworld, the movies with Yul Brynner.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
Loved those. They were totally campy. And then Peter Fonda did Future World. Those were great, horrible 70s movies. They were like great B films as far as I'm concerned. I loved them. I loved them. Loved them. So when they made Westworld and they've gone into these directions that they're doing, I'm full on board watching this. But I see the ethics dilemma. And that is exactly what happens because they have in the Western section, they have the brothel in there. And those women start killing. And the same thing goes on with, they evolve. And that's the thing. They could evolve because they're AI.
Yeah.
So my next question though.
Yes.
Goes to machine translation. Why?
Why what?
Why does the going from the labor robots to machine translation, why is there a connection? I'm going to tell you right now. You want to tell
you? Please tell me.
Okay. Because this all goes to a deeper idea called deep learning in AI, where they're trying to get machine translation tools to imitate the thinking patterns of specifically the human brain.
So you're saying whatever brain can do really good translations could aid an AI overtaking the world.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with machine translation, let me start out with the basics. So MIT is trying to replicate the deep learning, and they are trying to make it resemble the way that human brains learn when it's young. They call this replicating neurological attributes. Replicating neurological attributes. And deep learning enables machines to learn independently, just like the way human beings learn. And what's noted is that they know that just as the young human brain is absorbing information, all of their AI models must be trained to do the same if it's going to work. So that's the one saving grace.
Yeah.
That they still need to be trained by humans.
Yeah.
These deep learning machines.
Right.
In the translation industry, there's much debate for decades since the 50s and early on, when machine translation societies looked to form in the early 20th century, and then the IBM machines saying they're gonna have all of this, and you know, every year we go to conferences. Okay, when's it coming? When's it coming? Yeah. And it never is there.
Okay,
but there were some chess playing computers that people are quite familiar with. In 1996, Deep Blue actually won against the reigning world champion, Garry Kasparov.
And when you think about it, I'm not an expert, but I saw Queen's Gambit, so I know a little bit. And I play chess. But the anticipation, there's anticipation. There's a lot more thinking going on besides just what's my next move, obviously.
Right.
So that's interesting. I mean, that's old news. I heard about that. But it makes you think more about where it's gone since then.
Right.
You know?
And I know a lot of people know that Google offers free translation on their websites. Don't ever use it. Don't use it. But use it in a responsible manner. So previously they used what's called narrow AI. And so it was a different type of, and I'm not going to go into this. All of you people out there who are listening right now who know the technology behind translation and machine translation, I'm not going to go all techie on you on all of that. But what I'm going to, I'm not going to go into that. But what I am going to go into is the fact that now, where we're at now, machine translation has evolved to a much higher level than it once did. It can now replicate human translation and in many languages. But as professional translators know, that it's not sufficient.
Yeah.
Okay. And despite all of the AI technologies, we still have a job, right? And even with deep learning, the human brain is still better than AI.
Thank God.
I know. In an article addressing this topic in Slater.com, they report that a claim was made in a paper published in 2020 about, I'm hoping I'm saying this right, Cubitt, which is Cubbitt, which a new transformer-based deep learning system. The authors included people from Google's Brain Berlin and Charles University in Prague. And they said that just achieving human level translation now is outdated. Like it can do that. Okay. So that's not the goal.
Right.
And the quest is to outperform human level translation, period. They want to just outperform humans. And that Slater reports that the same paper concludes that the authors do concede highly qualified human translators with an infinite amount of time and resources will likely produce better translation than any MT system.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So, and to make a point, I've always argued that machine translation is going to miss human element called imagination, right? So I go back to that every time.
Yeah.
We have endless ways to represent our imagination in the written form, and this is why I'll always have a job for translating. And machine translation, can be great for very simple, non-professional uses, a simple idea, a couple of sentences here and there, a concept. But it gets worse when there are things like homophones to text to type applications, all of these things. Like if you say the word red and you're using a text to type with machine translation, how do they know which red if they can't figure out context? And a lot of AI cannot figure out context.
I would think they would. With the other words around it?
With context. But if you're writing it out, it's going to have a lot easier time. But if you have people with accents and another thing you can't figure out is intonation.
Well, yes. And insinuation and
innuendos.
Like innuendos.
And colloquialisms, slang.
Which all that, supports me in what I believe is like we want humans to work.
Right.
And something really big about that is like we can become all automated, but we'll be depressed because we have nothing what craft are we going to do? You know, we live to work, and that sounds bad, but we really do. Like most of us want to have a profession. Most of us want to be good at something.
Or have a purpose in life.
To produce and for the world, for the society, that's a purpose. And to take it away,
Well, I like what producer Lauren always tells me about dogs, that they were bred to have a job. And so even we've domesticated them, right?
Yeah.
But they need to have something to do. And we were having a conversation about this the other day about how because of COVID, everyone's been at home and that the dogs are bored because the owner doesn't leave anymore. The routine has changed. The owner's here in the house. So for us, even getting up and moving from one room to the next gets the dog happy because it's something new. There's a job. Oh, what are we going to do? So I think that's something that's changing.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with you because even in Westworld, they were having some episodes about how the robots seemed depressed. And then when they got out of their regular function and they were able to do these other things, they had this same incitement of emotion and human emotion of, great, something new to learn. I do think machine translation has its place, but it would have to be trained like every second of the day to ever even be trained to the capacity where people would want it to be used in the way they'd want it to be used. I know most people who are using machine translation give their clients an option of using it as raw machine translation or to be used as machine translation post-edited by humans. What we have found in our particular situation is that most of the time machine translation comes out like crap unless it's in a fully well-trained deep learning system.
Okay.
I believe that is starting to appear, and I do believe that it's going to change the tools we use in the future for translating.
Right.
But I don't believe it'll ever. I don't think it's possible to ever completely replace human translators. Somebody must train them. Somebody has to teach the student.
Yeah.
And the machine translation is only a student of the human brain. And then I'm just going to make it that simple.
Yeah.
So so when we put all this together, so I'm giving the big thumbs down to machine translation in terms of deep systems trying to grab the human brain.
Trying to overcome what humans can do better.
Right. Yeah. I don't think so. So here's my conclusion to all three of our topics.
Okay.
So when I see a human in the future, if I can see a human acting like C-3PO from Star Wars, but in human form.
Okay.
And then immediately interpreting languages.
Okay.
Then jumping in their flying car. Then we might have something, right? But until then, I'm happy to use my little dingbat.
Okay.
And to help me do my, work, and maybe some machine translation to help me do some of, speed up the process of translating in the appropriate situation. And if I can have a flying car that's not going to be a threat to the rest of humanity, then I'm okay with that. But other than that, I'm going to stay in my grounded car for right now. Or actually, I'm a big proponent of public transportation, people.
I'm a walker.
I'm a walker. I'm a metro person. In fact, that's love in Spain for that reason.
That's why I'm here.
And the trains.
Reason why I'm here.
The trains, people take the trains. I'm all on that bandwagon of trains.
Yeah, all of you out there, if you want efficiency, Madrid's got it. It's very efficient.
Oh, yeah.
Incredibly efficient.
Yeah. Well, most of the big cities of Europe have wonderful metro systems and trains and local trains, as well as the regional and the national trains. And then the air, the flights are, now that we know that we don't have to feel guilty about taking those little hopper flights because they're always packed.
Yeah. Well, Spain is probably one of the best countries in the world with public transportation.
Yeah.
And I found out why.
Oh, do tell.
Big corporate lobby.
Well, that'll do it.
Oh, maybe the government really cares about the earth. No, it's all contracts.
Okay. Well,
contract.
Hey, but so is this. All of this is, everything I've been talking about is commercial, free enterprise. So I go back to the premise of all of this again. If we have these things, do you think I don't think. I think I've answered my own question. I don't believe that these things are ever going to work the way we want them to.
Well, maybe. I saw the jetpack and the Navy guy, and I thought, wow, that looks pretty, like, it looks like a real jetpack, not like one of those cheesy ones from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And, for my 10% wants to see it, I'm not
saying I don't want to see it. Yeah. What I'm saying is that I'm not talking about will they actually work. I'm talking about will they work the way we are intending them to work. I think they're going to be, because we're greedy little humans, I think they're going to be manipulated and exploited. That's what's going to happen to those wonderful little pure ideas. They're going to be exploited. People are going to abuse them. And I'm going to say, knock it off and stop making the human robot looking creepy things.
I have a confession.
Yeah.
I verbally abuse Siri.
See? Okay, that's my point. You just made my whole podcast. Thank you. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, she's right there, so just like.
And you're calling it a her.
Siri. Well, it's it has a male voice, but I don't use it. Yeah.
Well, you should maybe call it a boy, or it could be Siri. Actually, I think I don't even know. I'm going to say it's non-binary because Siri is got a male female sounding voice, and so, but we don't know. So it's a gender identity we're assigning to it. Poor Siri doesn't even have a choice.
Siri. It's not so much verbal abuse; it's more like really personal questions.
Okay, you're never going to Barcelona again. Never.
But she always says the same answer.
Oh, no.
Let me look that up for you in Google.
And there goes back to your machine translation. Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, listen, people. I hope you've enjoyed this very bizarre little technology one that I had just my 3 a.m. notion of, why do these things matter? Will they ever work?
It was great.
Oh, I hope so. Well, this is Translate This with Melissa and Richard. And we are going to sign off now. And before I do sign off, and before Richard signs off, we have to remind you how to find us. You can find us at our webpage at translatethis-podcast.com, or Facebook at translate.this.podcast, or Twitter at translatethin_p, or at Instagram at translatethin_podcast. And we thank always our sponsor, Barbier International, for keeping us on the air and allowing us the opportunity to make these crazy, crazy podcasts. We might not have an opportunity soon. They might start listening to us and then shut that down. shut that shit down.
Oh, no. I said the F word.
Oh, yeah. We've said a lot of things. Yeah. We're going to be in trouble. Anyway, until next time, thank you for listening and tuning in to episode 7 of Translate This.